The Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with noise. Over 500 alien species filled the room. Some had scales, some had tentacles, some glowed, some had too many eyes. All of them were looking at the three humans who stood in the center. Ambassador Taiku Kim took a deep breath. His black suit was perfect. His gray hair was neatly cut. 5 years ago, he was teaching history at a small college. Now he was speaking for all humans to the aliens who ruled the stars. "We come from Earth," he said in a clear voice. "We ask to join your council as full members," the aliens whispered among themselves. Some laughed. Some made rude noises. Taiku tried not to show his anger. In the front row, High Commander Vexlar stood up. He was 7 feet tall with green scales and yellow eyes. His race, the Araxians, had the biggest war fleet in the galaxy. Everyone feared them. "Humans," Vexlar said with a sneer. "You still use rocket ships. Your weapons are toys. Your planet is dirty. Why should we let you join us?" Dr. Sora Park stood next to Taiku. She was Earth's top scientist for alien technology. Her hands were in fists, her face was hot with shame. 6 months studying alien languages, 3 years of diplomatic training. All for this? To be laughed at? On Taiku's other side, Captain Do-hyun Choi kept his face blank. His black uniform was simple. The only metal on his chest was small and silver. No one in the room knew he had fought in the Mars Rebellion or led the mission to Jupiter's moons. That was how he wanted it. "Earth is young in space travel," Taiku said. "But we learn fast. We have gifts to share." A blue alien with glowing arms laughed. This was Ambassador Quilix of the Zentari. "Gifts? Like what? Your ships can barely reach. Your own planets. Your computers are slow. Show us one thing that would impress us." Sora stepped forward. "We can adapt to new situations better than any species here. We solve problems in unique ways." "Those are traits of rats and roaches," Vexlar cut in. The alien council erupted in laughter. Do-hyun's hand moved to his pocket. His fingers tapped a small device there. His eyes met Taiku's for just a second. Vexlar pointed to the big screens around the room. They showed Earth's space stations, the small colony on the moon, the start of the Mars project. "You have 12 spaceships. 12. My personal guard has more ships than your whole planet." The oldest alien in the room raised a long, thin hand. This was Grand Arbiter Zolath. Some said he was 3,000 years old. His skin was pale, gray. His eyes were black and deep. "I have heard enough," Zolath said in a voice like dry leaves. "Humans are too primitive. You may watch our meetings. You may trade with some of our worlds, but you cannot join the council. Come back in 50 years. The aliens began to leave their seats. The meeting was over. Earth had been rejected. Taiku led his team back to their rooms in the lower levels of the space station. The hallways were designed for many types of aliens. Some places were very hot. Some were full of strange smells. Some had gravity that made humans feel sick. "This is so unfair," Sora burst out when they were alone. "They didn't even look at our medical advances. We can regrow limbs now. We cured most cancers. They treat us like children." Taiku sat down heavily in a chair made for an alien with 6 legs. "Politics is never fair, Sora. You know that." "We knew this might happen," Do-hyun said quietly. His face was still calm. "We were prepared for it." Taiku looked up sharply. "You mean?" Do-hyun nodded. He pulled out his small device and pressed his thumb to it. The screen lit up with a simple message: "Authorization confirmed." "Operation Eclipse is ready," Do-hyun said. His eyes had a strange light in them now, almost like excitement. "The package will be delivered in 24 hours. Sora looked from Do-hyun to Taiku. "What operation? What package? I wasn't told about this." Taiku seemed to age 10 years in a moment. "There are things even our top scientists weren't told, Sora. Earth has secrets, big ones." "What kind of secrets?" she asked. Do-hyun smiled for the first time since they'd left Earth 3 weeks ago. "The kind that will make Commander Vexlar choke." On his laughter, Outside their window, the great ships of the Araxian fleet passed by. They were huge. They were powerful. Their weapons could destroy whole moons. But Captain Do-yun watched them without fear. Soon, very soon, the aliens would learn that humans were full of surprises, and the biggest surprise of all was hiding in plain sight. 3 days passed. The Earth team packed their bags. They had to go home now. The giant space station called Galactic Hub would not be their home after all. Earth was not good enough for the aliens. Taku was putting papers in his case when his door chimed. "Come in," he said. The door slid open. Commander Vexlar stood there, his green scales shining under the lights. 5 Araxian soldiers stood behind him. "Ambassador Kim," Vexlar said with a smile that showed too many teeth. "Before you leave, I want to show you something. A gift." Taku did not trust this gift, but he had to be polite. "How kind of you," Sora and Do-yun joined them. They all went to the big window room on the top floor of the hub. The room had glass walls that looked out into space. "Watch," said Vexlar, pointing to the stars. At first, Taku saw nothing. Then lights began to move. Ships, big ones. They flew in patterns fast and sure. The ships were silver and smooth. They moved like dancers who knew every step. "My warships," Vexlar said proudly. "The newest kind. Each one can destroy a whole moon." He looked down at Taku. "Maybe in a few hundred years, humans will make something this good." Taku felt his face get hot. Vexlar was not just saying goodbye, he was making fun of them one last time. "Thank you for showing us," Taku said. He kept his voice calm. "Your little ship is ready in Dock 7, Vexlar said. "Have a safe trip back to your cute little solar system." When they got on the elevator to go down, Sora was angry. "He did that on purpose. He wanted us to feel small." "And it worked," Taku said. Do-yun said nothing. He looked at his small screen device. A message flashed there. He put the device away quickly. The Earth ship was small and plain next to the alien ships in the dock. It was called the ESS Harmony. It was white with the Earth flag on the side. They walked up the ramp. Do-yun touched Taku's arm. "Sir, we should take a different way home." "What do you mean?" Taku asked. "Not the direct route," Do-yun said. His eyes moved to where some aliens were watching. "A scenic route." Taku was confused but nodded. He trusted Do-yun. No aliens came to say goodbye. Their ship left the dock and moved away from the hub. The stars were bright outside the windows. After an hour, when they were far from the hub, Do-yun came to Taku's cabin. "Sir, I need to tell you something important," he said. "What is it, Captain?" "I need to take us to a special place for Operation Eclipse." "You mentioned that before," Taku said. "What is Operation Eclipse? I never heard of it." "You weren't supposed to," Do-yun said. "The fewer people who knew, the better." Taku was not happy. "I'm the ambassador. I should know everything about our mission." "This goes beyond your mission, sir," Do-yun said. "This was ordered by the Earth Security Council. They didn't tell you for a reason. If things went wrong, you could honestly say you didn't know." Do-yun pulled out a small black cube from his pocket. He put it on the table and pressed his thumb on it. A light came from the cube, forming a 3D picture in the air. The picture showed a ship, but not like any ship Taku had ever seen. It was black. It was smooth. It looked like a shark from Earth's oceans. It had no windows that he could see, no markings. It was big, much bigger than the Harmony. "What am I looking at?" Taku asked. "The ESS Phantom," Do-yun said. His voice was full of pride. "Earth's first stealth warship, and the reason we're really here." "Stealth warship?" Sora had come into the room. She stared at the picture. "We don't have stealth technology. That's hundreds of years away." "That's what we wanted everyone to think," Do-yun said. Sora moved closer to the picture. "This design, these energy readings, this is impossible." "Nothing is impossible," Do-yun said. "Just improbable." He touched the black cube again. The picture changed to show the inside of the ship. Taiku saw rooms full of strange machines, weapons he didn't recognize. For 15 years, Do-hyun said, Earth has had two space programs, the public one that everyone knows about, and the secret one. But the cost, Taiku said, the resources needed, hidden in plain sight, Do-hyun said. Every time we sent up a ship to build the moon base or work on Mars, we sent up extra materials. Every country on Earth agreed to keep the secret. Why? Sora asked. Why not just tell everyone what we can do? Because of them. Do-hyun pointed out the window to where the hub was now just a bright dot in the distance. The Araxians, the Zentari, all the others. We needed to know what kind of neighbors we had. And now we know, Taiku said slowly. They look down on the weak. Yes, Do-hyun said, which is why we're going to show them we're not weak at all. He went to the ship's control room. Taiku and Sora followed. Do-hyun sat in the pilot's seat and changed their course. Where are we going? Taiku asked. To meet the Phantom, Do-hyun said. It's time for the real demonstration to begin. The stars shifted outside as the ship turned. They were heading deeper into space, away from the regular travel routes. Captain, Taiku said, I hope you know what you're doing if we make the Araxians angry. They're already planning to take over Earth, Do-hyun said flatly. We've been listening to their private talks for years. They just want to wait until we're a bit more developed. Better technology means more things for them to take. That's why the Council rejected us, Sora realized. Vexlar made sure of it, so Earth would have no protection. Yes, Do-hyun said, but they made a big mistake. What? Mistake? Taiku asked. Do-hyun smiled. It was not a nice smile. They believed what we wanted them to believe, that humans are weak and far behind, that we only have 12 ships, that our best weapons are toys to them. The ship's computer made a soft beeping noise. They had arrived. At empty space, nothing was there, just blackness and distant stars. Now watch, Do-hyun said. He pressed his hand on a screen. Phantom Command. This is Captain Do-hyun Choi. Authorization code. Avalanche 7 Delta. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a voice came from the ship's speakers. Captain Choi. Good to hear from you. We've been waiting. And right in front of their ship, the empty space began to change. What do you mean, stealth warship? Taiku demanded, staring at the schematics. Earth doesn't have stealth technology. Officially, no, Captain Do-hyun replied. That's the point. Dr. Sora leaned forward, studying the technical specifications with widening eyes. This can't be right. These power readings, they exceed anything we've publicly demonstrated by an order of magnitude. 7 orders of magnitude, actually, Do-hyun corrected. The public fusion program was a cover. We've had antimatter containment solved for a decade. Taiku collapsed into his chair. Why wasn't I told? The fewer who knew, the better our chances of success, Do-hyun explained. Earth's strategy was two-pronged. Present ourselves as less advanced while secretly developing technologies that could protect us if diplomacy failed. And it has failed, Sora realized. The Araxians practically threatened us. Do-hyun nodded grimly. Which is why Operation Eclipse has been authorized. The captain directed their ship to a seemingly empty region of space near the boundary of the system. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then Do-hyun activated a secure frequency and transmitted a single code word. Daybreak. The vacuum before them shimmered, like heat waves above desert sand. Space itself seemed to ripple, and then a vessel appeared. It was sleek, predatory, and utterly unlike the bulky utilitarian designs of Earth's public fleet. Matte black with no visible external lights, it absorbed rather than reflected the distant starlight. Nearly 4 times the size of their diplomatic vessel, its lines suggested both speed and power. ESS Phantom, Do-hyun announced with quiet pride. The first of the Eclipse-class vessels, completely undetectable to all known sensor technologies in the galaxy. How? Whispered Sora. Quantum field manipulation. We don't just bend light, we redirect all forms of energy around the hull. To conventional sensors, we simply don't exist. And weapons? Taiku asked, finding his voice. Gravitic lance technology, concentrated beams that can disrupt molecular bonds at a fundamental level, plus a defensive system that can divert incoming energy attacks. All this time, Taiku murmured, while they were mocking our fusion engines, we were building something better, Do-hyun finished. And the Phantom isn't alone. There are 6 more Eclipse-class vessels currently stationed at strategic points throughout known space, all watching, all waiting. What happens now? Asked Sora. Do-hyun's expression hardened. Now we show the Council exactly who they've been mocking. The Araxian war games were in full swing. Dozens of their fearsome warships performed complex maneuvers, weapons powered but inactive, a demonstration of tactics rather than firepower. High Commander Vexlar observed from his flagship, the Invincible, with satisfaction. Several Council representatives had been invited to witness the display, a not-so-subtle reminder of who truly held power in the galaxy. Magnificent, aren't they? He remarked to the Zentari ambassador. The pride of the Empire. Quite impressive, the Zentari acknowledged, luminescent appendages pulsing with appreciation. The humans could learn much from such discipline. Humans, Vexlar scoffed. They'll be extinct or subjugated within a century. Their system has resources we may eventually find useful. The tactical officer approached with a respectful bow. Commander, we're detecting an approaching vessel. It's the human diplomatic ship. Vexlar's scales rippled with amusement. They're returning? How curious. Put them on screen. The modest Earth vessel appeared on the display, moving steadily toward the Araxian formation. Open a channel, ordered Vexlar. Let's hear what they want. Ambassador Taiku's face appeared on the communication screen. Hi, Commander Vexlar. We observed your exercises and thought we might contribute a small demonstration of our own. Vexlar's mandibles clicked in derision. Your single vessel wishes to join war games with the Araxian fleet? This should be amusing. Proceed, human. The Earthship continued forward, then stopped at a respectable distance from the Araxian formation. Is that all? Vexlar mocked. You position your diplomatic vessel and call it a demonstration? Taiku smiled. Oh, we're just getting started, Commander. May I introduce Captain Do-hyun Choi of the Earth Strategic Fleet. The image changed to show Captain Do-hyun in a sleek black uniform, unlike the standard Earth military attire previously seen by the Council. Commander Vexlar, Do-hyun acknowledged with a curt nod. Your ships are indeed impressive, but you've been operating under a misconception about Earth's capabilities. Is that so? Vexlar sneered. It is, Do-hyun confirmed. You see, you've only been permitted to see what we wanted you to see. Quantum field disruptors active, came a calm female voice. Dr. Sora Park, now wearing a similar black uniform and stationed at what appeared to be an advanced tactical console. Vexlar was about to respond with another dismissal when his tactical officer interrupted in alarm. Commander, sensors are detecting a massive energy signature. It wasn't there a second ago. What? Where? Demanded Vexlar. 3,000 kilometers off our starboard flank. It's huge. The view screen shifted, but showed only empty space. See nothing. Vexlar snapped. Right about now, Captain Do-hyun said conversationally. Your sensors are detecting an energy signature, but your visual systems show nothing. Allow me to resolve that discrepancy. He nodded to someone off-screen. Space rippled, and the ESS Phantom appeared, a massive black warship hovering silently beside the pride of the Araxian fleet, having been there all along. Vexlar's scales paled to an ashen gray. Impossible. I assure you it's quite possible, Do-hyun replied. We call it quantum displacement technology. The Phantom has been shadowing your fleet for the past 3 days. 3 days? Vexlar's voice had lost all its previous arrogance. And it's not alone, added Taiku, reclaiming the communication channel. We thought it important that the Council understand humanity's actual technological position before decisions about our status were finalized. As if on cue, Space rippled in 6 different locations surrounding the Araxian fleet. 6 more Earth vessels decloaked, each as large and imposing as the Phantom, each having been invisible until this moment. "By the void," whispered the Zentari ambassador, appendages flashing in patterns of shock and fear. Vexlar struggled to regain his composure. This changes nothing. The Council has made its decision." "Actually," came a new voice, as the Grand Arbiter Zolath appeared on a split screen, "I believe the Council may need to reconsider its position." The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened within hours. Unlike the previous meeting, there were no murmurs of dismissal as Ambassador Taiku took the floor, flanked by Captain Dohyun and Dr. Sora. "Distinguished representatives," Taiku began, "humanity apologizes for the necessity of our deception. We had hoped to join the Council based on our scientific and cultural merits alone." Grand Arbiter Zolath leaned forward on his ancient throne. "The Council is most interested in understanding why Earth concealed such advanced technology." "Self-preservation," Taiku answered simply. "Our first observations of interstellar politics revealed that military strength often determines diplomatic standing. We hoped that would not be the case, but prepared for the possibility." Commander Vexlar, considerably subdued, spoke next. "Your vessels. They were undetectable by any means. How is this possible?" Dr. Sora stepped forward. "Quantum displacement technology. We discovered that by creating a precisely modulated energy field, we could divert not just light but all forms of radiation and sensor probes around our vessels." "And your weapon systems?" inquired the Zentari ambassador, appendages pulsing with cautious patterns. "We would prefer not to demonstrate those," Captain Dohyun replied firmly. "They were developed solely for defense. Earth has no expansionist ambitions." The council chamber fell silent as the implications settled over the assembly. "For centuries," Zolath finally spoke, "the council has operated on assumptions about technological progression, that certain advancements necessarily preceded others, that a species' visible infrastructure reflected their capabilities. The ancient being's multifaceted eyes studied the human delegation. "You have challenged those assumptions." "We have our own assumptions to reconsider," Taiku acknowledged. "We believed that advanced civilizations would have outgrown the need for military posturing, that knowledge and culture would matter more than weapons." "Perhaps," Zolath mused, "both sides have something to learn." The formal vote was almost unanimous. Earth would be granted full council membership, with all attendant rights and responsibilities. Only the Araxian Empire abstained, though even Commander Vexlar had lost his previous hostility, replaced by a wary respect. As the delegation prepared to return to Earth with the historic news, Captain Dohyun approached Taiku and Sora in a quiet corridor. "Was it worth it?" he asked, "revealing our hand?" Taiku considered the question. "Respect born of fear isn't ideal, but it's a starting point. Now we can begin to show them who we really are." "And what's that?" Sora asked. "A species of contradictions." Taiku smiled. "Peaceful but prepared, transparent yet secretive, humble but, when necessary, impressive." The ESS Phantom escorted their diplomatic vessel back to Earth, no longer hidden but flying proudly alongside. As they approached the blue-green world that had nurtured humanity's rise to the stars, Taiku reflected on the journey ahead. The galaxy had underestimated humans once. They wouldn't make that mistake again. But perhaps in time they would come to understand that humanity's greatest strength wasn't hidden in stealth warships or advanced weapons. It was hidden in plain sight, in human creativity, adaptability, and the capacity to imagine possibilities where others saw only limitations.